Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out today's video. Got a little fun story for you guys today. I want to talk about the most crazy day of bass fishing I have ever experienced in my life, in terms of like what was the most incredible fishing day I ever had. And I've been fishing, guys, since 1969. I think that's the first time my dad ever taken me fishing, and have fished hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 bass tournaments all over the country, all over the world. Had a chance to really be fortunate enough to have a lot of days on the water, a lot of good days on the water, a lot of bad days on the water. But out of all the 50 some years that I've been fishing, I got one that stands above all the rest. I sort of want to share that little experience with you guys in today's episode. Also, guys, for get started, a couple quick things. Just want to thank everybody for taking time to hit that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. If you haven't considered that, it's free and easy, good way to support the channel. And also, guys, thank you everybody that's been supporting Intuitive Angling through all the links I put in every video description. If you guys want to support the channel, you just go into the description and you'll see a bunch of links that how you can do that. My on the water lessons, my tackle warehouse link, my fish the moment lake map breakdown. So thank you very much for me and my family, for everybody that's been doing that to support the channel. Okay, I want to tell you about this, guys. This is probably the most well, not probably, it was the most incredible fishing day that I have ever seen in my life, and it could have been a lot better. I'll explain why. But the thing about it, it's like having days like this, what I'm getting ready to tell you about, is rare in bass fishing. If you fish public bodies of water, for the most part, you're probably going to struggle more than you're not. You're probably going to have a lot more bad days than you have good days. And when you have a really, really good day on the water where things are just clicking and they're biting good, you really need to you really need to be aware of that while it's happening, because this is something that is extremely uncommon to experience. The days that you don't catch them, you need those days to really appreciate some of those days that are just off the wall a little bit. So that's one of the things I always tell people out there. It's like, if you're catching fish, really be thankful and grateful for that, because bass fishing is a hard sport. There's not a lot that's easy about it. Okay, guys, out of all the days I've had on the water, I've had a lot of good days on the water. I've had a lot of incredible days on the water. But the one that stands above anything else as far as just a phenomenal fishing day that I've never seen anything like it before was the second year that I fished Lake Champlain. The second year that I fished Lake Champlain. This would have been back in the mid-90s, before the lake got real famous. We had a tournament there the year before that, and I didn't do any good in the tournament. It's like I didn't know anything about Champlain. I was in the wrong part of the lake. I was just trying to take things I knew from the Ozarks and make it work back there. Didn't have a very good tournament. Learned quite a bit of it, and the next year I went to a different part of the lake. The first day of practice, this was a Bassmaster Top 100, I believe, or Top 100 or Top 150. I think it was a Top 100. But the first day of practice, this is when it happened. We got out there and I went to this different part of the lake, and this area that I was fishing, it was this massive rocky flat that had, it had sand, it had big rocks on it, it had a little bit of grass on it, but it was massive. It was just like, it went forever. It was hundreds of acres. I mean, you could put a ton of boats out there, and I didn't see another boat. Champlain is a huge lake, and I'm up there on this particular flat by myself. I get out there that morning, and it's calm, which is rare for Champlain, and it's cloudy and little bit of mist once in a while. Then it'd stop, but it's sort of a low light day. Water visibility is really clear. Water visibility is probably 10-foot clarity, and just calm. It's just really an unusual condition for out there. So anyway, I started fishing a fluke, a Zoom super fluke, and I was just fan casting down the flat, and I was getting bit about every third or fourth cast. I'd catch a decent smallmouth, like a 2 or 3 pound smallmouth, which I just couldn't believe it. But then after about 45 minutes of that, I'd already caught, probably 20 on there. And this was practice. So I put on a Mega Bass Giant Dog X topwater in the matte tiger color. You know, it had the black back chartreuse side on it. Guys, what happened over the next 4 hours, it probably is hard to believe if I'm just telling you this, but I was just going down this flat. I'd throw out there with the Giant Dog X and catch a giant smallmouth, you know, 3 to 5 pounder, something like that. And after I caught 4 or 5 of them like that. So within the first 30 minutes, I had a 20-pound bag of smallmouth. I bent the hooks over on my Giant Dog X. I had 2 Giant Dog X's. I had one with hooks on it and one with bent over hooks on it. And every time that I'd catch one, like a 3 or 4 big smallmouth, I'd throw the one out there with no hooks, and about every third or fourth cast, another big one would blow it up. And then I'd idle 100 yards away from there, and I'd pick up the ones with hooks on it. 2 or 3 casts, I'd catch another big one, another 4 or 5 pounder. Guys, this went on all day long. It's like there were so many bass on this, and the conditions were so perfect that it's like I didn't go for over 4 or 5 casts all day without getting a bite. And 75% of the time, I either used the bait that didn't have any hooks on it, or what I'd do is I'd catch one with the hooks. I wouldn't fish. I'd kick the trolling motor in high and go another 50 or 100 yards before I made a cast, and then do it again. It was unbelievable, guys. I literally lost count of how many 4 to 5 pound smallmouth I caught and saw had blow up. It was like phenomenal. Probably had, and here's the thing that was really freaky about it. It's like I didn't fish a lot of the day because I was practicing. I didn't want to show the fish the bait, so I moved around fast, and I, you know, idling around. I didn't fish like I would in a tournament. I probably had 150, 175 bites at least on that Giant Dog X that day, and most of them were big ones, and probably could have had, you know, twice that many bites if I would have just been fishing like I would have been in a tournament. So needless to say, it's like I couldn't even sleep at night. I was so jacked for the tournament to start. It's like I said, okay, how much am I going to win this tournament? I didn't even think about getting second place. I said, I'm going to win this tournament. If I don't break down, if my motor doesn't blow, I will win this tournament. And I said, am I going to win it by 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds? I just could not believe. I couldn't believe it. It's like it wasn't even real. It was so good. So anyway, I practiced. We had 2 more practice days, and I sort of practiced, you know, close to the same area. I knew I was going to fish there, but I didn't want other boats to see me there, and I didn't want for the fish to see a lot of the baits again. So I'd go like a mile away from it and just fish around the general vicinity there. Caught a few, but nothing like that flap. And of course, the weather was still pretty stable. Light winds, low light conditions, cloud. It was just like prefrontal. The night of the last day of practice, and happens every freaking time, we had a massive frontal system go through. Now this was September up at Lake Champlain, because that's so that far north, it does get pretty cold. We had a massive northern blow in through there. The wind switched around. Instead of being calm winds or just a tiny little breeze out of the south, we had 25, 30 mile an hour winds out of the north, bluebird bright skies. Temperatures dropped probably 25 degrees. And I get out there the first morning of the tournament, and there's like 3-footers out there on my flat where it had been glass smooth. They wouldn't touch a freaking topwater I wound up catching them on a spinnerbait, and I wound up making a check in the tournament just burning a spinnerbait. But I was like the first day I had almost 19 pounds on a spinnerbait, and I was pissed. I was like so mad that I'd sucked so bad catching 19 pounds after what I'd seen with that Giant Dog X and the topwater. And wound up finishing, I can't remember what it was, in the 20s or around 25th or 30th. Caught them all on the spinnerbait during the post-spawn situation. But guys, I'll tell you what, that practice day, that was like, I'll never have another day like that. That was something to behold. I was by myself. It's like, this was before cell phone. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have cameras or anything like that. And it was just, you know, it was a day of a lifetime. You just never have those type of days. So anyway, guys, the main thing about it, appreciate those days when you're having good days. Appreciate them because they don't come along very often. So we'll talk later.